Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Gary Neville seriously impressed with Bukayo Saka. Arsenal beat Aston Villa in a thriller at Villa Park, running out 4-2 winners in the end with some light drama thrown into the mix. For Arsenal, there were some fine performances on display, and once again, one of those fine performances came from Bukayo Saka. The England winger got the initial equalizer and looked a threat throughout. And taking to Twitter, the onlooking Gary Neville was quick to praise Saka for his performance. Saka continued to show just why he is one of the most highly rated young players in world football. His rasping drive was brilliant, as was his overall display. He never gave Villa's defense a moment's peace and looks every bit the world-class player we all know he can be. This was a game that had it all, and Bukayo Saka was the epitome of Arsenal's season as a whole. His finish showed a player in high confidence, and his game overall seems to be getting better each week. He is a menace to any defense now and has to be considered one of the best in the league. Arsenal need to get that new contract sorted for Saka and quickly. If they don't, then Europe's top dogs will be sniping, and there is no question he'd get in any starting 11 in the world. Shay Given says Aaron Ramsdale did something that changed the game against Villa. Arsenal had some big performances to draw up the top of the pitch. The likes of Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard all produced big moments, but it was in defense, particularly in goal, where former Newcastle goalkeeper Shay Given felt the game was won. Speaking on Premier League productions, Given pointed out a save made by Aaron Ramsdale at 2-2 that changed the game. He said, especially the one onto the bar was a big save. We always talk about teams that are going to win the league and the risky and big moments. Can your goalkeeper stand up to them and make the save? Because if that goes in, the atmosphere changes at Villa Park, and obviously there is no guarantee they will get the win. Massive moment for Ramsdale and for the result. Ramsdale has proven key for Arsenal ever since signing from Sheffield United. The Gunners paid £30 million at the time, and it's been more than money well spent. All the best teams have a goalkeeper who makes big saves at big moments. Ramsdale did that yesterday for Arsenal, and he really did need to do it as well. In terms of key moments, it was massive. Had the game gone to 3-2 to Villa, Arsenal might have wilted. Instead, Ramsdale inspired Arsenal to 3 huge points, and he continues to be a crowd favorite. If he can keep this sort of form up, then the title dream is firmly alive in North London. Mikel Arteta left stunned by Jorginho effort. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has admitted that he'd never seen Jorginho produce a stunning effort like the one he produced at Villa Park yesterday. The Gunners produced a dramatic comeback win against Aston Villa after going behind twice in the match. Arteta's side headed into half-time 2-1 down after goals from Oli Watkins and Felipe Coutinho, while Bukayo Saka had leveled the scoring up with an excellent finish. Alexander Zinchenko leveled the game up on the hour mark after a well-worked corner, but Arsenal had to wait until the 93rd minute for the crucial goal. Jorginho isn't exactly renowned for producing spectacular long-range efforts, but the Italian did exactly that at a crucial time for Arsenal. The 31-year-old received the ball on the edge of the box from Gabriel Martinelli and let it fly with a first-time shot. His effort came back off the crossbar after it looked destined to hit the top corner, but fortunately for Arsenal, the ball bounced into the net after striking the back of Emiliano Martinez's head, and Arteta has admitted that he has never seen Jorginho produce an effort like this. Speaking to Viaplay after the games, Arteta said, "Incredible. I haven't seen Georgie score a goal like this, so it was the right moment to do so. It's not one of the biggest qualities that I saw of him, but it's great that he contributes in a huge way to win the game," he added. Jorginho wasn't awarded the goal, but his effort certainly deserved the outcome it received. The £90,000 a week Arsenal star netted 29 goals in 213 appearances for Chelsea before making the switch to North London, but most of his efforts came from the penalty spot, and it's understandable that his part in Arsenal's third goal took Arteta by surprise. Arteta will be delighted with his side's performance, especially after going behind On two occasions throughout the match, Arsenal needed to pick up a win at Villa Park after a difficult spell of form, and they moved back to the top of the Premier League table yesterday, with Manchester City slipping up at Nottingham Forest. Arteta's men are once again leading the race for the Premier League title. Mikel Arteta now shares what happened in the Arsenal dressing room at full time yesterday. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has now shared what happened in the Arsenal dressing room at full time yesterday. The Gunners got their title challenge back on track with a dramatic 4-2 victory over Aston Villa. Arteta was speaking to BBC Sport after full time and was over the moon with his side's comeback. Arsenal came into the game knowing how important a win would be for their title ambitions. What they wouldn't have anticipated was being 2-1 down at halftime, having gone behind twice. Their second half performance was much improved, with Alexander Zinchenko leveling on the hour mark. However, two extremely late goals earned them a win that has seen them open a narrow gap over Manchester City. Not only is the result massive important to Arsenal, the nature of the win could provide some serious momentum. There is nothing better than winning a match in the final moments, and that good mood will be carried into their clash with Leicester next Saturday. Arteta has now described the scenes in the Arsenal dressing room after the full-time whistle. It's safe to say the squad very much enjoyed their trip to Villa Park this season. Asked about how the players had reacted to their latest triumph, Arteta said, "It was absolutely bouncing because it was a big effort to play less than 72 hours after the game we had, and after the result, that is morally touching. I am really pleased with you boys." Alan Shearer reacts to Martin Odegaard's display against Aston Villa. Alan Shearer has told much of the day that Martin Odegaard was wonderful in the second half of Arsenal's win over Aston Villa on Saturday, and lauded the captain for the way he bounced back from a terrible mess. The Gunners are back on top in the Premier League table, but they certainly gave their supporters a further scare at Villa Park, falling behind on two occasions before scoring twice in stoppage time to snatch the 3 points. Arsenal were lackluster in the first half, and they could have a few complaints with the scoreline, but they looked to be a different animal after the break, and one of those who stepped their game up significantly was Odegaard. The Norwegian set up Alexander Zinchenko for the equalizer, and he was back to pulling the strings. Remarkably, Odegaard managed 7 key passes during the game. According to who scored, no other player on the pitch managed more than two, and Villa did not manage 7 between them. There was one nightmare for the 24-year-old in the second half as he missed a glorious chance. However, Shearer was full of praise for the way he took the game by the scruff of the neck and did not let that miss get his head down. He said, "They didn't panic, they started getting on the ball more, started creating more, then they get back to 2-2 with Zinchenko, and everyone wants the ball then, particularly this guy, Odegaard, who I thought had a wonderful second half. He started to do that, find passes going in behind. It should be in the back of the net, but that didn't stop him, that mess. That didn't stop him, by the way, because I think he actually got better after that, which tells you his mentality. He wasn't frightened to go and get on the ball still." It was an astonishing effort from Arsenal and from Odegaard. When you consider the run they have been on, many would have been tempted to write them off once they went 2-1 down. Agbonlahor hits out at Gabriel Martinelli after Arsenal beat Aston Villa. Agbonlahor has bizarrely hit out at Gabriel Martinelli after Arsenal's win at Aston Villa on Saturday, claiming on talkSPORT that his premature celebration before scoring in stoppage time were disrespectful. Arsenal are now back on top of the Premier League table. It appeared that the Gunners' title push may be losing steam after they failed to win for a third game running in midweek, as Villa pushed for an equalizer in the final minutes of the game. When Arsenal were leading 3-2, Fabio Vieira played Martinelli in, and the Brazilian ran the ball into an empty net, with Martinez scrambling back towards his goal after coming up for a Villa corner. Martinelli threw his arms up when he was a couple of yards out from goal, and that seemingly annoyed Agbonlahor in the latest example of strange criticism from the pundit. Admittedly, Agbonlahor is a former Villa player. However, it's hard to understand his points as he hit out at Martinelli. He said, "There was part of the game I didn't like. I didn't like Martinelli for me running through empty net, and he is celebrating before he's put the ball in the back of the net. He's been rubbish for a month, and he is scoring a tap in and celebrating before he scores. Lack of respect for your teammates. I didn't like it." It's so odd to criticize Martinelli for celebrating early. When he did so, the Arsenal forward was all but in the back of the net. It would have been harder to miss. I must admit, I do not remember Agbonlahor criticizing Ross Barkley when he did the same against Bournemouth back in 2017, and Barkley's celebration was even more audacious as he was further out and at a higher angle. He cannot seriously believe that Martinelli has done anything wrong. That is a special moment at the end of a turbulent week for Arsenal, and Martinelli hasn't been good enough of late, so of course that moment is going to mean more. And let's not forget, the goalkeeper Martinelli did not have to beat was named the best in the world by a certain Gabi Agbonlahor after a World Cup in which the Argentinian's antics led to criticism from many. Adrien Rabiot contract update offered by Fabrizio Romano. Transfer guru Fabrizio Romano has now provided an update on Arsenal target Adrien Rabiot's future. Romano posted on Twitter about the Frenchman's contract situation at Juventus. Arsenal are one of a number of Premier League sides interested in the 27-year-old. A report from Calciomercato this week suggested Arsenal have already contacted Adrien Rabiot over a potential summer move. Newcastle and Liverpool are also interested in the French international, who could become a free transfer in the summer. Tottenham were even tempted to make a bid for Rabiot in January to beat the rush of clubs wanting to sign him for nothing. Despite the speculation surrounding his future, Rabiot has been one of the first names on the team sheet at Juventus this season. He has already matched his best goal-scoring season of his career, although that's not why he is in the team. Juventus have been subject to another major controversy in Serie A this season after being given a 15-point deduction. Romano now says Rabiot will have talks with Juventus next month, but speculation is continuing to grow that Arsenal will make their move for the midfielder. It's a position Mikel Arteta is keen to strengthen in the summer, and the 27-year-old could be the answer. Taking to Twitter, Romano shared Rabiot's quotes from a Sky Sports interview before adding some information of his own. Adrien Rabiot on contract expiring in June. I am here at Juve, focused on my performances. I am not thinking of my contract now. We will see how talks will go in the next months, tells Sky. Fabrizio commented, Rabiot could leave as a free agent. Premier League is his biggest dream. As Romano says, Rabiot's desire to play in the Premier League could benefit Arsenal's pursuit of the Frenchman. His passing and dribbling in the middle of the park make him a really tough midfielder to come up against. He is very press resistant, but also contributes really well when his team are out of possession. Rabiot would offer a brilliant competition for Granit Xhaka or Thomas Partey if signed. Arsenal are also really interested in Moses Caicedo, but his transfer fee looks hard to justify when Rabiot is available for free. Arsenal are likely to have plenty of options this summer, especially if they have a Champions League football to offer. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.